Hello everybody and welcome back to Typical City. Manchester City 3, RB Leipzig 1. A really good performance. We're in with a shot for back-to-back Champions League titles. I think we can do it, and going away to RB Leipzig and winning was by far the hardest fixture in this group. That is done and dusted. 6 points on the board, a really good performance, and the exact type of performance to inject some confidence right into the veins of all those Manchester City players and hopefully take that confidence into the Arsenal game, go away to the Emirates and win. And if we do that, the juggernaut is back. The juggernaut is chugging away. That train is not stopping, and we are on course for more silverware this season, and hopefully we can do it. Let's get straight into the player ratings, starting from the back. Those of you that don't know, I start the players with a 6. They come onto the pitch with a 6, and they work their scores up from a 6, and any harm done to their game, their score drops below a 6. No one's below a 6 today, just a spoiler alert. But Ederson, 90 minutes played, all he had to do really was pick the ball out of the back of his net. There was a couple of moments that he dealt with quite well. A hard cross coming across the face of his goal, punched that away as you can see. And another opportunity where he cleared the ball. So 93% passing accuracy, 32 touches, which is almost double what he got in the previous game, indicating that City were knocking it about at the back, stretching RB Leipzig, luring them out, which is good. I've given Ederson a 6.5. Kyle Walker, I thought he was all right, not bad, but not great. He was okay. 90 minutes, 95 touches, 86% passing accuracy, a key pass, 2 tackles, 0 interceptions, 2 clearances, and 1 aerial duel won. There wasn't that much from Kyle Walker because we didn't have that much defending to do. There was no real opportunity. There was a couple of moments that Timo Werner came on and you're thinking, oh, Kyle Walker's going to deal with him. And you thought, maybe, but he never had to do anything. You know, in the counter-attacking sense, Kyle Walker was nowhere near their goal. It came down the left-hand side of the pitch rather than the right-hand side of the pitch. So Kyle Walker didn't really have that much to do. I know this season we've seen him overlapping a lot. A couple of times we saw him overlapping, but he was definitely under instruction not to get as far forward as he has been doing previously in this season, with the inverted winger of Foden tucking inside, whereas Bernardo Silva stayed on the wing in that overlapping channel that Kyle Walker would be running into, so there was no need for Kyle Walker to get forward. But he was decent. Okay, I've given him a 6.5. Ruben Diaz, I thought the first 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes of the game, he looked ropey. It looked like there was a couple of sloppy errors creeping into his game. I think Akanji was involved in a couple of that first 5 minutes of the game. After that, he found his feet and he just dictated the play. And defensively, Ruben Diaz, he loves it, doesn't he? And I'm so glad we've got him in the middle of our what usually is a back three at the minute, and sticking him right in the middle just makes me feel safe. I feel safe with Ruben Diaz in the box. You know, defensively, he loves it. Everything coming into the box, which was very little, but boom, header, cleared, tackle, boom, cleared, and the stats prove it. 121 touches, so again, he was the springboard for a lot of our play moving forward rather than Ederson, so we were pinning them back quite a bit. 121 touches, 95% passing accuracy, 2 aerial duels won, a tackle, an interception, 5 clearances. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about clearances and crosses coming into the box. He loves it. And block shot, got to give him a 7. I thought he was decent, especially after that start. You know, he was a bit ropey, but the second half performance was pretty impeccable, really. Nothing he could have really done about the goal. Openda coming down the left-hand side where Gvardiol was. Akanji ended up getting back. Couldn't do much about it, Ruben Diaz, but I thought it was all right. Gvardiol, I thought he was really good. I think in an attacking sense, in his ability to carry the ball, and that's not really reflected here because the dribbles say 1. A dribble stat, by the way, is dribbling not just with the ball. You've got to beat someone, actually take on a player. That's what the dribble stat is, and he did that successfully once. But in terms of carrying the ball into space, he was brilliant. And he was everywhere on that pitch, Gvardiol. And a lot of what his play yesterday was, that highlighted to me at least, was not really reflective in these stats. You can't really see a lot of this. Carrying the ball, it isn't really beating a player, is it? It's not the same stat, but he did, on plenty of occasions, carried the ball and burst us through the channels, and he was really purposeful with everything he did, Gvardiol, and I liked it. I really enjoyed watching his game yesterday. I think that was his best performance, and he got the most touches by quite some distance as well, with 138 touches, 96% passing accuracy as well. So that is assured, really assured. 1 dribble, 0 clearances, an interception, a tackle, and 0 block shots. So not too much in the defensive aspect. The stats aren't really there asking him to do much in a defensive mind, but using your own eyes and watching the player play the game yesterday, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was really good. 7.5 I've given Gvardiol. Akanji, again, into defensive midfield, a role that I'm okay with him being there. He looks okay. I'd much prefer to see John Stones in there, in truth. But he's doing a good job, isn't he, Akanji? He's doing all right. Nothing fantastic, and he was a bit sloppy with Ruben Diaz in the beginning of the game, again. But I think he found his feet, and not much going on around him, to be honest. There was almost a bordering on saying a quiet game for Akanji. But came off in the 71st minute, 77 touches, 94% passing accuracy. He's always got high stats in the passing accuracy, Akanji. 0 key passes, no tackles, 1 interception, 1 clearance, and no block shots. 6.5 just because of his lack of involvement, and he was only on the pitch for 71 minutes. Now we're moving forward into the pitch, where I'm going to start introducing now for every midfielder possession lost, which you can see at the bottom of his graphic there. I want to do that for the midfielders. I know Akanji was playing midfielder, but that's not really his game. But Rodri, I think, from that point onwards, you can start looking at possession lost, because these are the players now that you don't want to be giving the ball away. And for those wondering, possession lost isn't just a bad pass. You can be dispossessed. It can be an unsuccessful touch. It can be passing it out for a throw-in. Anything along the lines of losing the ball effectively is possession lost. You can dissect possession lost into more specific errors like dispossessed and unsuccessful touches, but I'm going to be a little bit broad with it, just so because I've not got enough space. There's only so many stats that I can put on these graphics. But again, the second most touches in our team, 125 touches, played the full 90. Obviously can't play against Arsenal, so I had a pretty strong inkling that he was going to be playing in this game for the full 90, get his match fitness up before the international break at least as well, and hopefully comes back after that international break and after the Arsenal game, top of the league, and Rodri slots right back in, no problem. 92% passing accuracy, 0 key passes, a clearance, an interception, 2 dribbles, and he lost the ball 13 times. I thought he was good, and it made me feel, again, similar to the Ruben Diaz gives me that safety net feeling, that I feel assured with him in defence. The same in midfield. When Rodri's in that midfield, I feel, nice and relaxed, nice and relaxed watching City in midfield, and he was good. He actually gave the ball away. When I say possession lost, that's probably one of the highest number of possession lost out of all our midfield. But he was good, giving him a 7. Rico Lewis, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Really good. 90 minutes, 59 touches, 94% passing accuracy, 5 key passes. I think Pep, with his wow interview, if you go and watch it if you've not seen it, the interviewer went, "What do you think of Rico Lewis? Wow." And Pep went, "Yeah, wow." Like that back at him. Brilliant. Love that interview. 3 tackles, 1 block shot, 1 shot not on target, and he only lost the ball 8 times, in an attacking midfield role. Rodri's lost it 12 times. Rico Lewis, in a part of the pitch where you're more likely to give it away, is giving it away less than Rodri was yesterday. Brilliant. Got himself an assist. Really good run. The intelligence of Rico Lewis's run to get into that inside channel. Bernardo Silva found him brilliantly. And then the cross was on a plate well, I say on a plate. Foden did brilliantly to put it in the back of the net, to be honest, because it was a weaker foot from Foden, and it was in the air, wasn't it? So really good finish from Foden. But Rico Lewis was brilliant yesterday, and he's arguably now, he's thrown himself very much into contention for playing against Arsenal. Who's to say, who would argue seeing him starting the game? I wouldn't. I think there are other players that are probably going to start ahead of him. But 18 years old, it's a frightening prospect of where this kid can go. Brilliant. I've given him an 8. Phil Foden, man of the match performance, 8.5 for Phil Foden. Really good. Again, it was good to see him back. The Wolves game, the Newcastle game. He was really anonymous, is a polite way of putting Phil Foden's performance in those 2 games. I thought he was struggled really to impact on the game. Yesterday, though, I'm wondering whether it's because he didn't have to have his mind in two places, because being the inverted winger, he does have to go on the wing at sometimes. I know people say, oh no, he's playing central. Yes, he is with a lot of the time, but certain circumstances required him to go on the wing when he's doing that inverted winger role. Whereas last night, he didn't have that second responsibility. It was purely, you're staying in the middle of the park and being Kevin De Bruyne, effectively, and giving him that free roam license to just be a busybody, get himself about and cause havoc in the RB Leipzig defence. And havoc is exactly what he caused. 76 touches, 90% passing accuracy, 3 key passes, 1 interception. He lost the ball 12 times, similar to Rodri. 6 shots, 1 on target. Could do with that being reduced, to be honest, because that's a bit wayward. Still, one of them went in the back of the net. So big bump to his score for that. Dribbles 1. 8.5, man of the match performance from Phil Foden. Hopefully he can go and emulate that performance at the Emirates. Bernardo Silva, really good to see him back. I think I've only given him a 7. I'm going to give you the score straight away. I've only given him a 7, but I actually think his presence was a lot of our success yesterday. Just his physical presence, as in where he was positioned on the pitch, because we haven't had an even balance to our attack with one player, Grealish, on the other side and Bernardo Silva fixed to the other side. We haven't had that balance this season. It just looked better. Whether that was purely because of RB Leipzig's formation, and maybe we'll come up against other teams that don't suit that, and the inverted winger of Foden tucking in might be a better option, but last night it suited the game perfectly, and I thought Bernardo Silva's presence was really good. But 86 minutes, 68 touches, 90% passing accuracy, a key pass, he beat a player. I've got to throw that in. Aerial duels. How's he winning anything in the air? And little Bernardo Silva, get up. Big booming Bernardo Silva with a couple of headers. He's not shy, is he? He scored a goal with his head against Real Madrid. That was more of a cushioned, guided header, wasn't it? But he's all right with his head, isn't he? 3 shots, none on target, and he lost the ball 10 times. 7. I think he's deserving of that 7. Jack Grealish, again, I think people were being too harsh to him yesterday. Not great, but he wasn't bad, and I think the stats are reasonable. Look at that possession lost there. The least out of anyone in midfield. Really good. Anyone who played as many minutes as Jack Grealish anyway was really good. 96% passing accuracy, 54 touches, played 71 minutes. 2 key passes, an interception. The bottom 2 stats is what I want. I think that's why people are frustrated with Jack Grealish right now, because there's not much threat from him. It's all good and well, and we pass. And yeah, that's exactly what Pep wants. And arguably, it's why we dictate the play a lot of the time. And we do have a lot more control when Jack Grealish is on the pitch. And a lot less susceptible to counter-attacks, usually. He gave the ball away once, though. That one possession lost was him giving it away at the corner of his side of the pitch. He gives it away while Gvardiol's trying to overlap him, mind you, which makes Gvardiol completely open. Big gap for Openda to run into. Jack Grealish gives it away, and they spring a counter-attack. Their first genuine opportunity to do anything in the game came from Jack Grealish. So if you want to fixate on how they got their goal, unfortunately, Jack, he gave it away. And that's how they got their counter-attack and how they got their goal. So he needs to cut that type of mistake out, because if his job is to keep the ball, then keep the ball. And he has, to be fair, 6 possessions were lost with Jack Grealish, but one of them was vital, So yeah, I think the bottom 2 stats are what people want to see more from. Getting a shot away and getting it on target as well, and beating players, 0 dribbles. 6.5 for Jack Grealish. Haaland, I want to go straight to that passing accuracy again, because I can put it this way, no one in City had below 90%. The whole team, go rewind the video, there's not a single City player, and beyond this after the substitutes as well, that went below the 90% mark in passing accuracy. Now, in Haaland's defence, you try getting a 90% passing accuracy when you're surrounded by defenders. It's not easy. It's not easy, because he's the final point, he's the final call for our attack more often than not. And if it's fired into him, you're hoping to bring it down. You are expecting him to bring it down under control and lay it off. But he's just surrounded, isn't he? He's swarmed and swamped by so many defenders nowadays that he's being killed when it comes to space. So trying to get into the 90% passing accuracy when you are being bombarded with defenders, it's not easy. So I understand why the passing percentage is so low, but still, I still expect him to bump that up because it's still not good enough, regardless of the number of defenders. So there is an excuse for that figure, but still, I need to see it higher. 25 touches, played the full game, 1 key pass, an aerial duel, 1, eat that, Bernardo Silva. Shots, 6 on target, and 2 on target, 6 in total. He lost the ball 7 times and he beat a player as well. Dribbles. Jack Grealish. Come on, mate. Haaland's beating people. That's not really his game, is it? 6.5 for Haaland, and his game wasn't that bad. It's just those 2 chances. In the first half, there was one that was like he had to get that on target. There was one in the second half with an outstretched foot. Unlucky, really good ball. He's the only player on the pitch who could have even got a touch to that when he gets a shot away, and people think, I should have got that on target. I don't think that was an easy one. He's the only player that could have reached it. There was 2 shots on the edge of the area, one that was onto his left foot, and he just didn't connect with it, and it p-rolled towards the goalkeeper, and the keeper actually fumbled it and made it look like a more difficult one to save. But to be honest, I don't think the keeper was expecting it to arrive so slowly that I think. And then there was another one that he just ballooned over the bar. He needs to find his shooting boots, because if he does, we're still comfortable in the game. Obviously, yesterday, we didn't need his goals because Doku and Alvarez did the business when they came on, but we'll need it at some point, so he needs to find his shooting boots. But it's good to know that we can still score 3 without Erling Haaland getting a goal. But 6.5 purely because of those chances missed. Now on to the substitutes. Hey, here we go. This is where it kicks off, isn't it? Jeremy Doku, 19 minutes played, 78 touches, 100% passing accuracy, 1 key pass, a dribble, 1 shot, on target, back of the net it goes. He only lost the 3 times, and 1 gritty. How's about that? 1 gritty, got to throw that in there. 8 for Jeremy Doku. He's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He's such an exhilarating player, isn't he, to watch? You watch him and you're just on the edge of your seat, like, whoa, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? I think Pep will argue that there are times where, because I haven't put the stats in there, but he actually tried to beat a player 3 times, and he failed on all 3 times, which fair play to RB Leipzig for stopping Jeremy Doku, whose dribbling ability is insane. But the attempts is what I like. But Pep will say, well, the attempts is not what I like if he's not beating the player and he's giving it away. There's your 3 possessions lost, because those were 3 dribble attempts and he was tackled all 3 times. That's what Pep will say. If you ask Pep, why did you pick Jack over Doku? Because Doku doesn't keep the ball as well. But at the end of the day, he comes on the pitch, gets himself an assist and gets himself a goal. Got to give him an 8. Really well played, Jeremy Doku. Alvarez, 12 minutes on the pitch. Look at that. Look at that for efficiency. We talked about Haaland's efficiency last season. He only touched the ball 6 bloody times, 12 minutes, 100% passing accuracy, a key pass, 1 shot, on target, back of the net it goes. He only lost the ball twice, dribbles, beat a player once, clearance, he's getting involved in defending as well, got himself an assist. Absolutely fantastic. He's only on the pitch 12 minutes, so I can't give him any more than an 8 because, I want to, but really, he can only impact the game so much, but it was enough to win the game. Brilliant performance from Julian Alvarez. The confidence that's got to be flooding through him now. He's got to be packed with confidence and feeling it going into that Arsenal game. Player of the season so far for me. And not finally, there's one more after this. Nathan Ake, 19 minutes, 19 touches, 100% passing accuracy, 0 key passes, 0 tackles, a clearance, aerial duels, 0, and 0 block shots. Little to talk about really in that 19 minutes. 6 for Nathan Ake, and then how's about that for efficiency? 0 efficiency, and so he didn't do anything. Nunes, 4 minutes he came on for Bernardo Silva, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6. But who's to say he won't play against Arsenal? I think he could come on against Arsenal and play and do something effective. Hopefully. Overall, the team performance was really good. I thought it was a solid performance from Manchester City. Just little refinements here and there, little details like Haaland's finishing ability. If we can just refine that and Haaland finds his shooting boots, we're going to be we're already a force to be reckoned with. But, you start adding Haaland's goals again because he's gone 3 games without a goal now. Who's to write him off to go and scoring 1, 2? Who's to say he couldn't get a hat-trick at the Emirates? It's Erling Haaland at the end of the day. It's a risky business writing him off. So I think overall, brilliant, really good. And I'm really looking forward to the Arsenal game, which I will be doing a watch-along for. Come and join me for that. We'll have a good time. Hopefully watch us together watching City stay top of the league going into the international break and putting a massive dent into Arsenal's title hopes. Get your player ratings in. Who do you think played well? Who was your man of the match as well? Get in the comments. I really want to hear them. Like and subscribe. Typical City is the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City.